Hello, everybody. Andy Goldberg here. Welcome to the Founders Chair podcast. Very excited to have on the show today Charlotte Quigley from Q Fire Protection and Carpentry. Charlotte, welcome to the Founders Chair.
Thank you so much for having me.
Really excited to hear your story, Charlotte. Would love to just start off by finding out a little bit about you personally, where you're from, what you get up to when you're not at work, family, that kind of thing, just so we know the person behind the business.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually from the south coast of England. I'm from near Bournemouth Way, or Bournemouth, as the Glasgow people call me, or say. So I relocated up here about 5 years ago. Whom I am a woman that loves self-care and shopping and everything that comes with being very feminine. I have two young children. I have a boy and a girl who are 5 and 7 now. And I have a passion for interiors. So very, very different from what we do on a day to day.
All right. Interiors like designing your home and making sure it's all.
Yeah. So we do a bit of property development on the side as a bit of fun, I suppose. So keeping up with the trends.
I could use somebody like you in our house sometimes because we care about how our house looks, but we suffer a lot from indecision. So
Oh no, that I'm the most decisive person. My husband and I really. If we're going into a decision, we've made the decision. I struggle with indecisiveness.
I'm very decisive in my business and
Yeah.
every other aspect of my personal life. But you ask me to choose between two colors, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, just pick one.
Yeah.
um,
Do you think it's for a lack of passion towards a color, or do you think it's just something else?
yeah, a bit of apathy probably.
Yeah.
Just paint it.
Just
Move
get
on.
it done, get it dusted. What's the next thing? That's the entrepreneur in you, right? You want to move forward.
Exactly. Charlotte, tell us your story, first of all, just about how the business came about in the first place. And, at what point you decided that you had the confidence to go into business for yourself. How did it start?
Okay, so it's quite a personal story, really. Met my husband in London, and we fell pregnant with our son, and it was just him and I. We didn't have any family support or anything there. And towards the end of my pregnancy, when I was coming into my maternity leave, my background was very much account management, sales. I'm a people person, and my husband is a carpenter that was working in fire protection. And he was like, hey, we could do this ourselves. It would allow us more financial freedom. It would allow us to spend more time with our child. So it was that real fine balance of, yes, you need to do a lot more work, but it can be a lot more flexible. So we embarked on that journey. I was on maternity leave, like I said. My husband was working all day at his job and then all night on the business and at weekends. And then we got ourselves to a point in which we had to take a leap of faith, which I think is something that every business owner needs to take at some point, where we felt ready, but it wasn't through lack of real determination to get there. It wasn't an easy feat, particularly with a newborn child in the mix of all of this. So we took that big leap. This was in London. And then we fell pregnant with baby number two. And we were like, oh, two babies and a business in London, no family. And that then prompted us to be on the move. So that's when we relocated up to Glasgow. And at that point, effectively, we were starting again. We didn't have a client base up here. All of our client base was very much in the south. So, and the icing on the cake of that is we moved here on the 14th of February, 2020. Little to our knowledge, 5 weeks later, we were going into lockdown with a baby and a toddler, no income. So that was a very tough time, but I guess that gave us a more strength and more determination to we've done this before, we can do it again. And we did, and we worked hard and we pushed and we pushed and we pushed, and we saw a huge jump from where we were to where we was. And yeah, we just continued that growth. And when I say growth, I don't necessarily just mean financially, I mean in with ourselves and in with the foundations of our business.
So, I mean, we're talking about decisiveness earlier. Like you guys made some big decisions and, starting a family, starting it in London, then starting a business, and then deciding to move to Glasgow and then starting anew then.
Hmm.
And that, yes, of course, you've got to be able to grow in terms of your own strength and resilience, particularly when COVID hit. So, um,
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't easy. It definitely was a rock in the path. And it would have been quite easy to break at that point and go, do you know what? Let's just go get a job. Let's go get a job. Then that would have been much easier, but we didn't. We didn't. We pushed and we had to learn. The Scottish market is very, very different to the London market, that's for sure. So we had to learn a lot in that transition. The decisiveness pushes you because we didn't know anything about public contracts or the
yeah.
tendering system or and that's a lot of where the business needs to come from when you're up here. So very different.
Tell us a little bit about the company. What do you do? Who do you do it for? Who
Yeah.
are
It's, who is Q Fire? I probably should have answered that in the last question. Um, we are a passive fire protection company. So we specialize in the maintenance, inspection, remedial, and installation of fire doors, along with fire stopping. So we are a BM Charter accredited company, which is the gold standard of accreditations in our field. And we primarily work business to business, and we do a lot within the public sector as well as the private sector. So you could be anywhere you look, there's fire doors, and you do not realize until you're in the industry, but in a hotel, all of the lobbies and the bedroom entrance doors are fire doors, in schools, in the NHS, in offices, that they are everywhere. And a big part of what we do is down to passion and education because there is not a huge amount of knowledge. I mean, Grenfell came along and it really woke the UK up for sure. And fire doors are a big part of a prevention and escape method for the building. If you are in a building and there was a fire, you want to know that you're going to be protected behind that door and that wall until the fire brigade arrive, right? It just seems like, well, yeah, it's a given. Um, but a lot of people don't know. So a big part of what we do is educating and being passionate and explaining how we can support businesses, as well as physically carrying out the work to a high standard.
and how long have you been operating then?
We have been operating 7 years this month. It's our anniversary on the 25th of August. So
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you.
And what would you say has been your biggest learning as a business owner since you started? And I know there'll have been a lot, so it's a tough ask to.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, yeah, like you say, there's tons of learning when it comes to just how to run a business is a big one. Learning what the clients want, what the clients' needs are. I'd say one of the biggest learnings that I think has become paramountly important is employees. Employees, if they feel supported, if they feel enriched, if they feel encouraged, then they're gonna thrive. They are the face of your company and they are communicating with clients, they are communicating with suppliers on a regular basis. That doesn't mean it's always easy. It's not easy. And there's one thing being an entrepreneur and a person that really wants to go out and get it, but it doesn't mean that we know everything. It doesn't mean that we know all of the things from HR to health and safety to finance and to admin. So you lean on them and making sure that they're the best that they can be, but they want to be there. I think that's huge.
And how did you go learn this stuff? Did you learn it as you went and learn from your mistakes, or did you go out and get the answers before you?
I
before you.
would certainly say we've learned from our mistakes, and I think that's a big thing. You have to be is you. Oh, what's the word? Um, you have to be able to admit defeat when you're wrong. Absolutely. And you need to walk away with your tail between your legs and you need to apologize and you need to go, but I'm gonna do better next time. And without that attitude of being a go-getter, then you're really just gonna sink.
Yeah, so almost like you need to have a bit of humility and be
Yeah,
okay with the fact that you're not an expert yet.
yeah, 100%. And quite frankly, I don't think I'll ever be an expert as far as I'm never gonna know everything. And I think that's a big part of us as owners and as directors is there's always something to learn. There's always a way to grow. There's always someone that knows better. Always. You're never going to be the top. And appreciating that your employees may be called employees, but actually they're on a level with you. And some of them will know their field better than you do. So you can learn from them as much as they can learn from you.
So you've got people around you that
Yeah.
help you, push you, challenge you, mentor you
Yeah.
to help you achieve the most you can achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. I think even if you had somebody come in right from the bottom, you have an apprentice come into the market, but actually they just might have a little bit of a different outlook on life, or they just might have a little bit of a different way to do it. But you look at it and you go, wow, I love that. Um, and you can learn from that. It doesn't matter what level they are, it doesn't matter how senior they are, you can learn something from everybody.
So be a learner. That's really
Mm,
the lesson I'm
yeah.
taking. Be a student of life, be a student of business.
Yeah, be open-minded, but still be decisive, but be open-minded, be forward, be uh I still can't get that word. I still can't get that word. Whatever that word is.
When you remember it, I'll edit it in later.
Yeah.
What's
Perfect.
what's been your biggest challenge during the years and how did you push through it and who helped you push through it?
I would say I would say there's been multiple challenges, like huge challenges. We made a decision to do this for our children, but our children are also there. So I think having that real strong balance between working really hard in your business and bringing up your children in the way that you want to bring them up as a mother, I think that that's been a really big challenge. That some days you do just go home and you're exhausted, but you want to be the best mom you can be. So I think that that's a big part of it. Our industry, personally, for me, and not necessarily just for the business, we operate in a male-dominated industry. And although the world is becoming slightly more of a level playing field, it can be very difficult in our industry to be deemed as efficient as other people. I've walked into a meeting before and I've literally had a man look me up and down and just stare at me. And I went, it's okay, I'm young and I'm female, but I know what I'm talking about and I promise I'm here to support you. And he was like, you're just not what I was expecting. That was literally his response. So I think there's always that challenge to have confidence and assuring that you believe in what you're doing and that you can put your word forward, but also to bring people into the industry and be like, this is a great industry to be in. It's really exciting.
Uh,
It's educating, while also feeling worthy of the place that you're in. And as a business owner, when you're alone, a lot of the time, it's quite easy to let self-doubt kick in.
so do you feel that you need to kind of get in there and prove yourself pretty
Yeah,
quickly?
you're almost justifying your position, showing your worth at the table. I deserve to be at this table, and actually, you can learn from me as much as I can learn from you. It doesn't matter that I'm young. It doesn't matter that I'm female, and I can help you. So
And then
yeah,
it's no longer an issue once you've established yourself and you've built a relationship, then you built some.
yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes I can think about a couple of individuals that I'm just never. I have to eat humble pie, but that's something that you do with your clients is you adapt to them and their personas in the best way that you can help them. But more often than not, you can overcome it, and people are really grateful and appreciate the fact that you're going above and beyond to offer them additional support. So you're not just doing something for them, you're leaving a lasting impression.
So what's the next big thing for you in your business, Charlotte? What do the next few years look like in terms of growth and opportunity or expansion? And what challenges do you think you're going to be facing in the years to come?
Yeah, absolutely. I think eco is a big thing in the world right now, being a bit more sustainable. We have looked into and we have aspirations to become a B Corp at some point, just to align ourselves with the world. That, in the nature of being a small business, has its peaks and troughs, but it's something that we aspire to in the next few years. We want to become, I think it's very easy in small business while you're building your brand and building your representation, you're when you're building your brand, that you're kind of on a journey a little bit like this. You get a really big contract in, and it's great, and it goes up, and then you hit maybe a quieter period. So I think for us, it's about becoming a little bit more sustainable, building lasting relationships with clients, and maintaining that so that we can become more sustainable. On top of that, I think, again, on the employees notion, I think it's really important that we keep focusing on them, listening to them, and building them, because they are the next generation. The more that we can support and build them and listen to them and hear them, the better the business will be, because we're more than just two people.
A company is its people, isn't it? So if you want to look
Yeah,
after the company and you're the future of the company, which is there for your kids, then you got to look
yeah,
after the people that make up the company.
yeah, absolutely. Exactly that. So there'll be a few spanners that are thrown in the works, and we'll absolutely have to look and overcome them. But I think if we keep going with be better, not just try, but be better, keep growing our foundations, keep on top of the market, keep ensuring that what we're outputting is exactly what is expected and beyond. And then the word will spread, and we'll keep going.
Any final advice for business owners who are just starting out on their own, or would-be business owners who are just considering going out on their own but haven't made that decision yet?
Okay. I'm a huge believer in law of attraction. I'm not sure how many entrepreneurs you've had that have said that. And manifestation, if you want it, you believe it, you go get it. But you have to wholeheartedly believe that. If you're ready to put in the work and you're excited and you're enthusiastic and you're positive and you're ready, go get it. What's stopping you? Really look at something I learned a while ago is, in 3 months' time, am I going to look back on this decision and regret it? If the answer is no, then truly, what is stopping you? Look forward. It's going to be really hard. You need to have that work ethic. You need to be ready. You need to put the hours in, but you're going to be rewarded with flexibility when you need it. You're going to be rewarded with so many life experiences. You're going to meet so many people, and you're creating a positive impact. If you want it, go do it.
But it's an adventure, and requires
Absolutely.
work and sacrifice and learning and growth and challenges and
Exactly.
everything, right? So embrace it, embrace the
Yeah.
adventure is what you're saying. But yeah,
Absolutely. Be sure to have supportive people around you. Our business is me and my husband, and I describe me as the head and him as the hands. Anything technical, that's his bag. He does that. Anything that's more people and administration, that's my bag. But really, if we hadn't have had each other, then this would have been a lot harder. So just be supported. And I'm sure that the more that they reach out to their network and explain their ideas, they'll realize just how much support that they have. Um, Go to them. You'll need them.
well, Charlotte, really great learnings today. Actually, it was really interesting to hear your story and hear about Q Fire. So, thank you very much for taking the time to come on the founder's chair and speak with us today.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks to all our listeners and viewers, as always, for tuning into the founder's chair. Keep an eye out for more videos to come. But today, it's all about Charlotte Quigley from Q Fire Protection and Carpentry. Charlotte, thanks again for coming on the founder's chair.
Thank you. All the best.